Hi guys, I'm back up here with another reading for the collective. Remember, all readings are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you can DM me, we can get you set up, come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as gonna, like I said, drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys to start the discussion. As well as just gonna share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? Okay, so the channel message is about group consciousness versus individual consciousness, right? Group consciousness versus individual consciousness, right? Group consciousness is all of us coming together to agree on one accord. So an example of that would be we all look at the sky and say the sky's blue, right? This is that type of energy here where I guess individual consciousness would be diving deep within self and finding what you think is true, but you think the sky is green, right? This is that type of energy, you understanding why and what that is and finding that understanding within yourself and you really thinking for yourself and breaking that down, right? That's just an example, right? Right. This is an energy with the channel message here about group consciousness and individual consciousness or solo consciousness, right? The problem with, there's no problem, the issue that we're having as humans is we do not know how to decipher between group consciousness and solo consciousness. What is really coming from us or what is coming from a collective. This is that type of energy. There's nothing wrong with having group consciousness, right? Because you know what I'm saying, a lot of change can happen within that space, but at the end of the day, you need to know when to use discernment and you need to know when to tap into yourself and trust yourself, right? Because this is that energy. We cannot be merging the lines between group consciousness and solo consciousness, okay? Because this is that type of energy. Solo consciousness comes within. That's between you and your creator. That's not between you and your creator and your community, right? This is that energy, being able to understand the difference between community consciousness and solo consciousness, understanding what's coming from you and only you and what's coming from the collective. Because a lot of our, surprisingly, a lot of the world, a lot of us, we get swayed by community consciousness and getting it mistaken as you came up with that on your own, right? There's so many examples in history and in time where that plays a role, right? This is that energy, being able to think for yourself, being able to strengthen out. It's like that type of energy. Community consciousness is on like over 9,000, right? And we're strong in that suit, but we're weak as fuck when it comes to solo consciousness, right? Being able to decipher on your own and being able to trust yourself. There's a lack of self-trust, right? Being able to connect on an individual level, connect with God on an individual level. We can break that down in so many ways when it comes to individual communication, individual consciousness versus community consciousness. You gotta understand, man. We get everything from we can break it down to religion. We can break it down to your favorite psychic readers. We can break it down to your inspirational influencers in any shape or form. We can even break that down with your government, right? In any way, shape, or form, right? We're not going to get too deep in that, but just you know where I'm going with that, right? This is that energy, being able to tap into that solo consciousness, to be able to decipher between the two. Do not get collective consciousness or group consciousness mixed up with solo consciousness as you're coming up with this on your own, or you're tapping into this on your own. This is that energy. It's about you really analyzing and making sure every decision, every thought, everything that you agree on, your whole belief system, everything is coming from oneself. From oneself. We can have agreements. We can come together as a soul tribe and etc. But at the end of the day, it's between me and God. It's not between me and God and my church. It's not between me and God and my community. It's not between me, God, and my favorite reader. You know what I'm saying? This is that type of energy, being able to tap out of that community consciousness and tap into that solo consciousness, that individual consciousness, being able to think for yourself. Half of the world cannot think for themselves. And it doesn't come from a space like you can't do it. No, that's a skill that needs to be practiced. That's a skill that needs to be taught. Right? There's a difference between community consciousness and solo individual consciousness. So when you're moving in the world and really reflecting on the world and really looking outside of you and really looking and analyzing your world, right? It's about us being able to, I guess, decipher between the two, okay? All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Remember, all readings are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need to leave the rest, as well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you can DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl. Love to hear from you guys, okay? As well as drop a comment down below. Let's go on and start the discussion. Love to hear from you guys. Let's go on and share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? Want you guys to have a good day, and bye-bye.